Hans Themistode, FightHype.com, here with my guy, Malik Scott. Great to see you, man. How you feeling?
Good, baby. Just landed over here in Europe. I'm moving around with my people. Um, Everything is good, man. Everything's good. I mean, besides the obvious, lost a big fight. Didn't have a good performance, and it's crucifixion time, baby. You know what I mean? It's time to get crucified for it. Like, you know how this shit go, man. Um, and shit, 1 minute I'm the orchestrator, and right now I'm taking all the shots for everything.
Well,
I get it though. I love this shit, man. I love this shit.
I mean, I'll say this. I can always appreciate when somebody doesn't win a fight or something like that, and they just come on and talk to the media instead of like hiding. So I can appreciate that. So,
Oh yeah, shit. Hell yeah.
okay. So what went wrong, you think, man? Deontay looked really, I don't
Hmm.
know, I guess you could say hesitant, looked like he was just waiting for the right time. Like, as you were
Right.
looking in the corner, what was going through your mind, man?
After the first round, I'm seeing he's creating a comfortable environment. The same way he was with Helene is the same type of thing he did with Ortiz the second time. And we all know that he has that equalizer. So we're in a mind frame now, coming from a perspective of like setting these guys up and making them reach, then making them pay. Um, and that's after the first round. After the second and third round, it's almost like, okay, the comfortable environment is created. We got to start making, when he missed now, we have to start making him pay. As it went on and as it went on, like, he just had an awful day, and he couldn't pull the trigger. He just couldn't pull the trigger.
Hmm.
That's the only thing. I mean, we can always go to um, the long 2 year layoff, and not only was it a long 2 year layoff, he went up against after a 2 year layoff against a former heavyweight champion, somebody that fought 4 times in 1 year, and somebody that can actually fight. Like, what I mean, Joseph Parker is Joseph Parker, no matter who it is that he fight, and it didn't go our way. It definitely didn't go my way. I mean, I it just didn't go my way at all.
Now, you say that um, it was hard to pull the trigger. I mean, everybody pretty much saw that he just wasn't really pulling the trigger. It was pretty weird. But would you
Yeah.
attribute that to ring rust, or would you look at it like, I mean, Deontay is getting a little older, man. He's 38, and that's normally what happens to guys, man.
Yeah, then Father Time is undefeated as well. He's not 28 years old no more. He's a 2 year layoff, a totally different mentality, right now. Um, uh, and like it comes across like in this whole thing of Deontay this, Deontay ain't shit. Malik really ain't shit. JD now they wish Mark Breland was back. Like, it's just so many things, and that's because everybody's trying to find an answer. And I get that. That's why I have no problem taking the licks or whatever it is that people want to say a thing. But Father Time is undefeated. Deontay couldn't pull the trigger like we trained to do in such short little time after a 2 year layoff. And we have to give credit to the fucking opponent. Can somebody say he was in there with Joseph Parker? It's like people were saying all of these different things, but it's almost like that was a very, very dangerous fight to take on in a short period of time after coming off a 2 year layoff. It just was. That's just the facts. Did I think Deontay could catch Joe Parker slipping, making him reach and then making him pay? Absolutely, I did. But Andy and Joe, they had a very, very good, methodical game plan. They did just enough. They didn't take high risk chances. They respected Deontay for who he is, and he's somebody with a big punch. They knew that, and they treated him accordingly. They didn't take no chances until they really realized that Deontay was not just on the back foot, but he had no plans on really countering them. And then, Joe started pushing the action and taking, a little bit more chances. And at times he was taking chances, and even if he didn't want to punch, he was taking chances enough just to crowd Deontay and like, really just, turning into a clinch thing. So hats off to Joseph Parker, man. Like really hats off to him. He's back in the mix. He got the biggest one of his career, in my opinion. And like I said, we just couldn't pull the trigger.
Is I mean, Tyson Fury is the obvious, but was Joseph Parker the best fighter that Deontay fought? Like, was he better than Luis Ortiz? Like, was he the second best fighter?
Mm, Technically, sound wise, and crafty wise, I would say him and Ortiz is. It depends on what Joseph Parker show up. That Joseph Parker that show up was a lot more methodical. He was more into the you could say the quality of punches instead of the quantity of punches. His left hand, he wasn't fighting with his left hand down at the hip like his inspirational best fighter was Roy Jones Jr. He came in with his left hand high up. He wasn't that much on the right side. Every time Deontay threw the right hand, he would duck it, he would slip it, and the adjustments for that would be to fake it, the right hand, or to fake the jab to make Joseph go up and throw the right uppercut. I constantly told Deontay that he tried it a couple times, then got away from it. But the adjustments that should have been made from fighter to trainer, and then from trainer to fighter, then from fighter going out there executing it. That transition is a very tough one for someone that was out almost 2 years and then going against a high level fighter like Joe Parker, man. You asked me, I thought time was up. I thought everybody was fucked. I thought, you know what I mean? I was wrong. I was wrong, man. And Joseph Parker, he fucked up the party. He fucked up the party. And you got to salute him on that.
For sure. You talk about ring rust. You talk about ring rust, and you also talk about remember Deontay saying that look, ring rust isn't going to be an issue. I'm pretty much a professional.
Yeah.
I stay in the gym, things like that. But
Yes.
so is it fair to say that that was the biggest issue, or like what do you think?
No, not in my opinion. The biggest issue, in my opinion, was Joseph Parker and his trainer and the game plan that they had, and him not taking unnecessary chances to leave himself out there to be hit with a crazy counter like Hellenius did. To me, our problem was Joe Parker. Now, in the mix of that, we have to keep reality. He was fighting a guy that literally haven't been active in 2 years.
Yeah.
Is that why the loss came? If it was why the loss came, I can't say that because I'm not into taking credit from fighters that went out there and did handle their business the way that Joe Parker did.
Yeah.
They had a good game plan. He fought a good methodical fight. Um, um, even in between time, like Deontay, he just really couldn't even get his jab off. He was feinting good, but he really couldn't get his double and triple jab off. And we went over that tons of times in training camp. We went over that tons and tons of time in the dressing room. Not just myself, but JD's, Don House. We all, made sure we implemented to him how important it would be not to throw single jabs against someone that's a good counter puncher, so to speak, like Joe Parker can be sometimes. And this shit is easier said than done, man. Even at the highest level, it's really easier said than done. Deontay is a warrior. He went out there and did what he can do under the circumstances of not being able to pull a trigger and shit. Life be life, man. Ain't nobody can be more disappointed, than me because I'm the one that's on the front line, promising the world and telling them the world everything Deontay is and every way that I believe in him. So, if I can go out there and I could tell the world and give my prediction and let them know everything I believe Deontay is, and then when it don't go our way, there is no. No. There is no, throwing stones and then hide your hands. That's not who my character is. That's why I don't mind the position. I love this shit, man. I'm built for it. I know exactly how fans are. I know how boxer people are. Listen to me. Just I think 3 months ago, Derek James got Trainer of the Year. They was crucifying him after Spence lost, and then after Joshua didn't look that good or something like that, and then I think Charlo got beat for Canelo. And they were saying Derek James is a hype. He's not this. He's not that. So, bro, I know how this shit go. You know what I mean? You just gotta keep on pushing, man.
For sure. And like I said, as soon as I reached out to you, you hit me right back. And I'm just like I said, I appreciate it. I can't tell you how many times I try to reach out to fighters and trainers after a bad loss. And these guys that normally hit me back never freaking do, but they just don't want to show their face. It's pretty
Yeah,
annoying.
that's horrible. Yeah.
Okay, so when you look at Deontay, man, is
Yes,
it
sir.
is it hard to
And real quick, Cons, I want to let you know something real quick, bro. I know that like you appreciate me getting right back at you, but when it comes to any question, bro, when it comes to me, it ain't no such thing as an uncomfortable question with me. I hit you back. I want to get this. I want you to ask me everything, anything you feel as though that people, mean, bro. So I
Yeah,
just
for
want to let
sure.
you know I already know you got that right with me because you know how I am. I'm an
Mhm.
open book, but I just want to let you know that on you know what I mean on the camera.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. I was gonna ask you shit
Go ahead.
anyways, but I
Go
appreciate
ahead. I know. You know what I
it.
mean? I want to let you know I'm with all the smoke, man. I'm with all the smoke.
Sure. So, all right, man. So Deontay, he like usually for like when it comes to like doing media, he's very selective, I would say. And he
Okay.
does a lot of media with I forgot the exact name of the people, but it's like 7, 8 sports or something like that. So my
Mhm.
apologies to them. But he just did a recent interview with them, and he was just like, "Look, Anthony Joshua still doesn't really want that fight. They were really happy that I lost. So just pretty
Yeah.
much, making it seem like, hey, I still really want this fight, and Joshua seems to be like avoiding me." From your
Right.
point of view, because fans will look at that and be like, man, Deontay's crazy. Why would Joshua avoid that? You just lost. You got to rebuild a little bit. From your point of view, do you share that same belief that Joshua is still avoiding him, quote unquote? Joshua had the best night of his life because Deontay said that. Deontay said Joshua looked so good because he knew he didn't have to fight him anymore. Do you share that same belief?
I don't know about none of that right there. I know like Deontay, he can have his opinion on his perspective on what as though he feels though Joshua is thinking and feeling. Me, honestly, Hans, I'm the only thing I'm concerned with is what's next as far as the opponent, as far as the mentality, as far as um uh, 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 being dedicated to training camp, as far as shit like that. Can I say Joshua? You know how it come across to me during the whole fight week. Joshua just was shut down. He was being critiqued because how he was shutting down. Even to me at times, like it came across like he was a little, upset at certain media. He was took in so many different kind of ways. But when it came to the night and the moment that counted the most, he showed up and showed out against. I actually thought Wallen would be a little bit better than that. From what I seen, I thought he would have been a little bit better than that. But then again, you got to give credit to AJ in that sense right there. So like I feel as though he was focused on Otto Wallen. I think he believed and knew that he had Deontay next and he wanted to make a statement. But I believe he just was focused on Otto Wallen and getting a good performance because he's been getting shit about everything else he's been doing across the year.
Sure. Before we jump on Joshua, um, from like just Deontay, from just that Deontay performance, man, do you look at it and you just say, look, we have to get him more active? Like, what is it that you have to do? Because activity, it's not like you guys wanted to just jump into this fight necessarily because you guys were like trying to get other fighters, but you kept saying that the guys are turning down $4 million paydays. So do you just want to get him more active, or like is it something that you have to go back to the gym to work on? Like what is it exactly you think?
I've always wanted him more active. There never was a time where, if you look at my past interviews, I always say, and I want the best for him. I believe he should be more active. I believe these certain fights need to be made for him to be more active, and that is key. That is key, and I believe that really is key. The older that you get, because you got to realize, I say it all the time. Father Time is undefeated, and if Father Time is undefeated and you're not active, it to me is just a kryptonite and it's a recipe for disaster. Like you know what I mean, and just fighting at a high level like this and fighting, you could say, once in 2 years, that's like unheard of almost, man, especially in the heavyweight division. It's not unheard if a fighter in heavyweight division, Ali had to go to the penitentiary
Yeah.
because of his situation. Then he came out and then he got to the fights immediately. But if you out here and you're not fighting and going through contractional problems, promoters, managers, this and the third, something got to get done because you have to get in the ring and fight. Like you
Mhm.
just have to for the activity to keep your reflexes sharp, to keep your motor going, and make sure your foundation is sharp, to continue to keep focus on your craft, so to speak, while you're fighting. Not, because I could drilling, all day long. But if we're not getting that done under the lights, even if it's against weaker opposition, then it really just don't mean nothing by the time we get to a high level fight. And what we did was we took a big risk with, you could say, big reward in this case because the Saudis came through like they do. And but like just to me, if we can do this all over, I in a perfect scenario, I truly don't believe we would have chose or we would have wanted Joseph Parker and us coming off a 2 year basically layoff of inactivity. That's not that's not something that's co-sound for anybody to want. But Deontay got so much heart and courage, and I believe in him so much that we said we had put a plan together. We had dedicated for the 4 or 5 weeks we had, and we just, you could say we did what we can do, but when he got in there, he kind of like, he couldn't pull the trigger. He just couldn't. That could be inactivity, that could be age, that could mean second guessing yourself a little bit too long, too much. And most of all, what it could be is Joe Parker is that damn good. I know nobody wants to say it because he got beat by Joe Joyce and he had his ups and downs in his career, but Joe Parker can fight, man. That was a very, very serious, dangerous fight. And I was saying that before the fight.
For sure. All right, so let's look at it from your perspective, because like you said,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you've been getting the arrows. I actually just wrote a story for boxingscene.com where Andre Durrell, I mean, I'm sure you know who Andre Durrell is, the former
Yeah.
interim champ. He was saying on his social media, like, hey, um, like Malik Scott, stop trying to make Deontay Wilder a boxer. He's not a boxer. Like,
Right.
dog eat dog mentality, whatever. And so,
Right. Right.
what's like your thoughts on what's your thoughts on that, man? Like, is Deontay getting too comfortable? Like, is it the silk
Mm-hmm.
sheets? Like, what is it, man?
Yeah. I seen that with Darrell said, and this is my thing. I we orchestrated a game plan, and I really put together the perfect type of scenario for the Hellenius decapitation. I knew Robert Hellenius coming forward is not as good he is when you going at him. So I had him walk into the bomb. But before he walked into the bomb, I had Deontay resetting Hellenius with movement just to put him in position for a bomb. After Deontay got that, and in my opinion, that's one of Deontay's most scariest knockouts, and it came off the back foot off of resetting Hellenius going left to the right. Not one time did I hear nobody say why Malik Scott got him backing up, why he got Deontay moving side to side. And that's because they didn't say that because the result we got from it. If Deontay goes out there and move how he was doing and not be in flight and he clips Joseph Parker after 3 or 4 rounds, nobody is saying what they praising me. They saying how of a changed fighter he is. They saying how he's, but you got it. That's not a bad thing. That's just a human nature thing, and I get that. I just feel as though Deontay couldn't pull the trigger the other night, whether it's because of inactivity, he went blank, he got a little bit too content in the movement, the shots was there, he probably was seeing them and couldn't let them go at the time. Whatever it is, man, this shit's easier said than done. And me being a fighter and knowing that, and me, a former fighter, and knowing that, and me being in this game since I've been 12 years old, I can relate to that type of shit. So some people would say, well, he shouldn't have been moving. Okay, well, he shouldn't have been moving. So what, he should have just walked straight forward to a Joseph Parker right off the rip. Like, no, he should have been using his jab more. He should have been feinting more. He should have been double and tripling the jab more. And most of all, since what fight Deontay don't throw 4 to 5, 6 right hands per round? If y'all think I'm telling him after 6 or 7 rounds, y'all think I'm not telling him that, yo, we got to pick it up. You got to start punching more. You got to start punching. Y'all don't think I'm letting JDs literally tell him the last and final round when I'm quiet and I'm letting JDs tell him from a different voice, another orchestrator in Deontay Wilder's career. JDs is telling him, we down, D. We need a knockout. We're down, we're down, we're down. This is going on.
Hmm.
This is going on. The only thing I could do is look at the fight from round by round, get in the corner and give my information to Deontay. That's all that I'm doing. I'm
Do,
like, I'm sorry, guys, this shit didn't work out for y'all, but the fuck, man.
is there anything that you feel that you could have done better, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
11th, 12th round when, you knew that Deontay was down and, everybody was saying that, yeah, you're telling Deontay the right stuff to do in like those last few rounds, but there didn't seem to be like any sense of like urgency, like, yo, D, come on, like take his ass out. Like,
Okay.
do you feel like you needed to do that? Or what do you feel like maybe the improvements that you could have did going into that fight, or you just felt like, hey, I told him all the right stuff, but for whatever reason, he just wasn't going with it, man.
I truly, how do you know? I swear, if I felt as though that This was a me thing, and I feel as though I dropped the bro. I'm in a corner with him and Fury 3 telling them to wake the fuck up. He's being lackadaisical. This ain't something that you can't go and see me telling him. This is in the toughest fight of his career. I'm literally telling him in the fight. Because at one time, Deontay kept throwing the right hand and Parker kept going under it, kept going under it. So I said, we have to make the adjustment. Feint the right hand or feint the jab, then bring the right uppercut underneath to bring him up and put him in position where you can hit him with the missile. Because Parker kept getting under. You got to stop throwing the right hand over the top. Did he try it? Yes, he tried it a couple of times, but got away from it. In this game, when you have to actually stick to what maybe can work, not what's not working at all. Like you understand what I'm saying? So it's like I'm trying to think, man. I don't know. I know when I really fuck up in my life because I fucked up tons of time, not just in boxing but in life, and I have no problem carrying that barrier. But bro, round between round, and what I really did was I was telling him the things. He was trying his best to adapt, and then literally the last round when I'm telling him, I split the round. To me, which shows very good protocol from a team perspective. Because then I said, I'm gonna give him my half, and then I'm gonna let JD's and Don House, they give him the same information. JD's is telling them, we're down, D, we're down. You got to go out there and knock him out. You got to go out there and knock him out. And we're gonna say this. We're gonna say myself, JD's, or Don House never told him he was down. We're talking about Deontay Wilder, who have comatose people his whole career with right hands, who has a good feel of if he's winning in the fight or if he's not winning in the fight. And he will go out there and take his destiny into his own hands. And the last two rounds was better, but they just wasn't the regular Deontay Wilder. And that may come from the ring activity over the last 2 years. Like, you know what I mean? Just, bro, I'm like everyone else. I'm just not blaming nobody. Like, you know what I mean? I'm his head trainer. I'm his brother. I asked him, even after the fight, bro, I'm being very transparent with him. How was you feeling? Why couldn't you let the trigger go? Did you not see the shots? What was it? But like, you know what I mean? He's trying to put it together himself.
Do you guys, well, I'm not gonna say you guys, I know Deontay wants it, but do you want Anthony Joshua next? I know you've always said, and a lot of people have always said before you guys just took that loss, that that fight is the biggest fight in boxing. Now it's taking a hit. So do you guys want that match still since it is a signed contract? Do you still want to push for that, or do you think these should somewhat rebuild a little bit at least?
Hmm. I'm torn in between. Like, you know what I mean? I got to sit down and talk to him more. And what I really like to do after a fighter has fought 10 to 12 rounds and a fight has gotten hit, I don't ask, these important questions two or three times and sit downs. I talk to Deontay afterwards, but the real answers come in the next few days. He just was in the 10-round war. We get hit, the brain gets shaken around. Not saying he got concussed or Joe Parker got concussed, but these guys just was in a fight. Bless you.
Thank
These
you.
guys just was in a fight. So the AJ fight to me, it's still, a big fight. It's not as spicy as it was. Obviously, we know how that go because they both took losses. We just took another loss. Right now, AJ is back in the driver's seat performance wise. And we just have to see where we go from here, man. Like, I believe that the Deontay that I train, the Deontay that I see sparring guys and knocking guys out and knocking guys down in sparring, the Deontay that I know of courageousness and confident and could do so much more things than the world think he can do. That Deontay wasn't in the ring Saturday night. That's not the Deontay that I'm always talking about.
Ideal world, take Joshua out of it because he's probably gonna. He, I would think he's gonna fight Hergovich. So
You know what they're going to do.
probably.
Yeah.
So ideal world, who would you like to see Wilder fight? There's still a ton of big names. The
Yeah.
you've got Dubois look good. You've got Jarrell Miller, even though he took that loss, he's still a shit talker from America. You still got Andy Ruiz, who's like maybe like an ideal guy, like, okay, we want to get this guy, knock him off, we're back in the mix.
Oh, all right. Who we got? We got Andy Ruiz, who's still looking for some action. Andy Ruiz is there.
Daniel Dubois.
Usyk and Fury. Daniel Dubai is there right now. in a very good position. Like you got a few guys out there right now, but what's most important to me, and I'm not like trying to deflect the question, what's most important to me is Deontay being right. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about spiritually, mentally, and physically all in one. Like, you know what I mean? That's more of my concern because I know of that Deontay who is all the way right, none of those guys can beat him. I'm not really concerned about opponents right now and at this point in time. I'm concerned about Deontay getting back right, mentally, spiritually, and physically, and then right there, I would be able to talk about, okay, so bring on this name. I'm thinking about this name. But right now, after taking that kind of loss and that type of performance, I'm not that keen on just, you can say calling out guys or naming opponents because I'm focused on the bigger picture. And the bigger picture right now is Deontay getting mentally, physically, and spiritually right. So he could put himself in a position where the opponent won't even matter. Like, you know what I mean?
Got it.
So that's where I'm at with it, bro.
So speaking of getting right, seemed like Joshua got right. He looked terrific against Otto Wallen. Give me your thoughts on the fight, or did you even really watch the fight because you were back there with D? You know,
Yeah,
like did you watch
it, it was a it was a TV back there though, and plus I checked out I checked it out like on a plane. I checked it out. I seen enough to know that he's made adjustments. I seen enough to know that he learned a lot off of his Usyk southpaw fights. I seen enough to know that him and Ben Davison is not a bad match together at all. And you want to know what's real crazy? Because I remember it was a time that people were saying that Joshua should go to Ben Davison, and anybody that used to mention that shit, they would get crucified because people never was big on Ben Davis. They didn't understand why Tyson Fury hired some young trainer to take him against his first fight against Deontay. Especially, and it's not even worldwide, especially like the people here in Europe, they really just don't like to give Ben Davis his credit. It's like when I'm always saying he's like, one of the best top 10 trainers in the world coming from a systematic standpoint and how he, structured his system for his fighters to go out there. They'd be like, no, he's not that good. And I'm always wondering why they never, but now I'm sure they're going to give him his flowers because AJ is the marquee fighter. And Ben Davis just orchestrated a hell of a game plan and had him look how he looked the other day. So it's almost like he looked good. He wasn't hesitant. He was behind his front knee. He was looking for the counters. And his counters were short. They wasn't out wide for. And that's I hate to go extra detail because people hate this kind of shit, but I don't care what people hate. Yeah. So it's almost like he wasn't even throwing wide shots. And it's very hard not to throw wide shots when you fighting southpaws because they're on this side if you're orthodox. So you kind of got to go. He was throwing his hook inside. Like while Wallen was hooking, he would hook inside that and broke his nose with that hook. And then when he got on top of him to like so-called finish him, he treated him accordingly. You would think that Otto Wilder was some heavy-handed dude. No, he's not. AJ was just in a very responsible mode when he went to go and take him out. So you got to commend him. He didn't look okay. He looked not good. He looked very good. And he looked like somebody that has his eyes set on becoming heavyweight champion of the world again. You got it, bro. I only know how to call this shit how I see it, man. Like, did we have an awful performance? Hold on. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, bro. Did we have an awful performance? Yes. Is Deontay Wilder still one of the most dangerous fighters in the history of the sport? Yes. But did we just have a shitty performance? Yes. Yes, we did. I know people is looking for these answers. Well, it's goddamn Malik Scott fault. Man, is this well, if it wasn't Malik Scott, before it was Malik Scott, when Mark Breeden was training him, they kept saying, man, he needs somebody to teach him how to box. When Mark Breeden wasn't training him, they were saying, who's the white guy JD's? He never fought in this corner. He need to get a real train. It's always something in this shit. And if you're not built for it, it could get to you a little bit. I just been around the sport since I've been 12 years old, and I understand how fickle people can be when they're looking for answers. The real answer is Deontay have to get back active. He have to get back in a routine of preparation. And these inactivity spaces, they just aren't healthy, not just for Deontay, but for any fighter, because I could believe in him and I could know that he could be extremely dynamic and set people up and he could reset guys' feet and make them walk into a bomb. I can believe that in my heart all I want. But if we're not active, when we go up against guys that have been active, we kind of going to have some trouble with that because, we should be active. Deontay is too much, to me, of a powerful fighter to not be active in. We just got to do better. We just got to do better. And not just him. We all got to do better because he took that loss. I took that loss too. Like, I'm not shying away from, I'm a part of that. The same way I was a part of when he clipped Hellenius, the same way I was a part of when he got trilogy of the decade or whatever him and Fury did. I'm a part of this loss with him too as well, man. So, I could take it. I understand people frustration. I understand people wanting answers. I understand people saying, God damn, Malik Scott fought. They don't know. They're not with us in training every day. Like, you know what I mean? I just like they just don't know.
Well, let me ask you this, man, and it's might sound a little weird,
Mm-hmm.
but do you think that Deontay has become a little too dependent on the right hand and too dependent
Yes.
on power? Because I actually just spoke to Zili Zhang day before yesterday, and he was just like, Deontay's still a great fighter, but
Yeah.
if people are studying him so much, and if you just avoid that right hand, you're good. If you get caught with it, it's probably over. But do you
Yeah.
think he's just becoming too dependent on that right hand and he needs to add a few more weapons to his toolbox?
Oh wait, it's okay. So that's like that's a devil advocate question because it's almost like when people are saying add more to his toolbox. Before me, I don't remember seeing Deontay reset people with his feet.
Mhm.
Before me, I don't remember seeing Deontay work on combinations. Before me, I don't remember seeing Deontay work on decoys before landing a good right hand before me. So yeah, I'm no miracle worker. Do I know everything? Am I some great trainer? Am I this? No. But what I am is one of the best boxing minds in this noble art. And all I could do is teach Deontay as much that I think that for his physical build, what he can get away with. I can't teach Deontay how to go to the body like Joe Frazier. He don't have a Joe Frazier build.
Mhm.
I can't teach Deontay how to slip punches like a Pernell Whitaker and all that kind of stuff. But what I can do is teach him how to. I'll give you a prime example. Okay, before the fight,
Mhm.
Joseph Parker, we knew was going to be launching the overhand right. We practiced how to defend from it, and it's an easy defend. If you're going to your left and someone throws an overhand right at you, what hand should you have up?
You said if you're going to your left?
If you're going to your left,
Hmm.
and I'm an orthodox, and
Okay.
I want to throw an overhand right, what hand should be up if you're going to your left?
You gotta put your left hand up.
Absolutely. My daughter can say
Yeah.
that. I know that. Deontay know that. We trained for that. But it's so much easier said than done because, in my opinion, the key punch for Joe Parker the other night was which punch? The overhand right. That's the most highlighted thing.
Mhm.
So now when I see that, and I'm like, damn, we went over that. I watched Deontay defend that in sparring. We knew it was coming, but in the ring, it's so much more easier said than done. It's the hardest job in the world at times, especially for a fighter that hasn't been active. So, given the cards that he was dealt with, he did what he can do. Given the cards that I was dealt with as his head trainer, I truly believe in my heart I did what I can do. JD's did what he can do. Don House did what he can do. We end this shit together. We had an awful night.
In your opinion, does Anthony Joshua, two-part question, does he beat um Philip Hergovich? And if he does get past him in your belief, does he also beat like a whoever wins in that Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk fight? And if it's Usyk, he'll fight him for a third time.
I personally think that Joshua is on a vengeance mission. I believe that he will fight Usyk again in a heartbeat. I think that he will fight Tyson Fury. I think right now Tyson Fury is really someone that he will fight, being so the fact that, bro, you you can't make this shit up in boxing. Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder and had a draw with him. Beat him twice and had a draw with him once. Tyson Fury beat Steve Cunningham. Tyson Fury beat Dylan White. Tyson Fury beat Derek Chisora. Tyson Fury get in the ring with Ngannou, who never had a professional fight, and then look what happens,
Yeah.
bro. Like, now, does that mean that Sugar Hill did a bad job in preparation? Does that mean Tyson Fury is some bad fighter? No, that just means on the night of the fight, you have to be able to put it together. You just have to be able to, and sometimes you can have a great training camp. Sometimes you could try your hardest, and on a night, things don't come together for you. These are things that fans know only when it's comfortable for them to understand this. It's not comfortable for them to understand this in the Wilder case because they never seen him look like that. They seen Deontay lose and look bad, but they just was expecting more from that. And God forbid they expected more because I'm telling them what's getting ready to happen. Like, you know what I mean? I'm campaigning hard with my guy, and I always will because I love him, I believe in him, and to me, he's the most devastating, most dynamic fighter in the history of the sport. That's just what I believe. But he got to be on for people to see it. And the other night, we wasn't on.
Is it fair to say that maybe Tyson Fury might have taken a little something out of Joshua? I mean, not Joshua, out of Deontay. We know that Deontay took something out of Tyson Fury. Three
Yeah,
harsh.
they fought. Bro, they fought three times in one time. And it's not like they fights ever was short. They fought, I don't know how many rounds they got in what, 24, 20, I believe 30 something rounds in with each other. What, they got a 12 in, an 11 in, and what, a 7 in?
Yeah, so about 30, 28 to 30, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It's humanly impossible for them to still be the same.
Yeah.
But Deontay or Fury, it's humanly impossible. And not even count. What about Deontay fighting Ortiz, the first fight, and they going back and forth. Then the second fight, yeah, it wasn't as entertaining as the first one, but people think if you're not in some all-out brawl that these fighters are not taking punishment. No, that was an 8-week training camp before all these fights. So Father Time is undefeated. They all just doing the best that they can do. Me as a head trainer, I'm doing the best that I can do, like every other head trainer. And I'm not expecting casuals. I'm not expecting even some fight people. I'm not even expecting to understand this because I know what results mean in this game. And when you don't get the good result and you look a certain way in this game, you have to be able to take the criticism that come for it. And I love this shit. I'm built for it. So I definitely don't mind. I just know people's looking for answers, and the answers they're looking for is Deontay Wilder has to perform better than that. And they're also looking at it as like just the expectation. They haven't seen him in so long. So the first time they see him looking like that. You think they're gonna be understanding? Fuck no, they blaming Malik Scott. They blaming every fucking body that got something to do with it. I get it.
Does Anthony Joshua beat Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk right now?
I personally, I think he has a good shot at tough fights, man. Tough fights. It depends on what Fury show up, but I truly believe that. Oh no, I think Usyk is just a little bit too spunky for AJ.
Mm,
Southpaw, he got great feet. See, Oda Wilder is a southpaw, but to me, even before the fight, I told people he's a poor man's Usyk.
mm,
He's a poor man. Yeah, he's southpaw and he's crafty and he's just that and the third, but he's not an Alexander Usyk. He's nowhere near that. But Usyk and Joshua going again. I would lean towards Usyk, but I would lean towards Usyk in a much better effort by Joshua because the last time they fought, Joshua actually looked better against Usyk.
yeah.
So and now that Ben Davison got up, maybe they can make some adjustments and probably get the victory. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on Usyk for the third time. But I think I truly believe that Joshua is on a vengeance mission, man. Like you know, what I mean, he wants it. You know, you could say he wants it back in blood, whatever it is that he so called lost. And that's where the attitude is coming in that myself or you could say media or casuals may not understand. They all trying to figure out what's his attitude, why he so this, why he so that. I just I get shutting down media and not wanting to be like that. I don't understand things like you lose your title to Alexander Usyk and you take the belts and throw him out the ring. That's like way too. I would never understand shit like that. I can understand you having an attitude, you shutting down media, but first of all, Usyk, he's not about no smoke outside the ring. He's a gentleman's gentleman.
Yeah.
He ain't never talk shit about you. And you take the man belts that he just won from you, you throw him out the ring. But now me being playing devil advocate, I'm understanding AJ is just a passionate man when it came to that. He didn't know how to deal with defeat in that time.
Mm,
Like this boxing shit ain't no joke, man. Like people, they watch fighters come in this game as kids and go through ups and downs and immature moves sometimes. And when they get to a certain level, you know, some of us we still be expecting them to be this certain type of person. No, bro, they just went through a whole journey that got them here. And during that journey, they went through tons of trials and tribulations that we all are formed from our experiences.
yeah.
So it's like we may not understand certain things Joshua or Deontay are feeling. Because, bro, Deontay, everyone's keep talking about this ayahuasca thing and how he's more peaceful now and how he's more happy and he seemed more content. He may not just be the Deontay that y'all fell in love with, so to speak, coming from a violent standpoint. You know
Mm.
what I mean? But whatever it is and whatever it is we want to do, we got to get it back. We got to get it back the right way.
Would you take Joshua over Tyson Fury at the moment, though? Or it's still you rocking with Tyson Fury? Too big, too strong?
I don't think he's too big or too strong for AJ. I truly believe strength wise, I believe AJ is stronger than Tyson.
Mm.
Um, I believe Tyson also is facing father time issues.
Yeah.
I believe that's where the Ngannou effect came in at a little bit too. I don't think he could pull the trigger, and I don't think his reflexes are what they used to be. He's bigger now. He's a more vulnerable Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is actually a lot more vulnerable than he's ever been. And in that case, if there's any Tyson Fury that AJ could beat, it's this one right here. It's this one right here. So we'll see, man.
Just my last topic for you.
Yeah, please, bro.
A lot of guys wanted you, a lot of people wanted you guys to be the main event. The obvious
Yeah.
event was Anthony Joshua, but to me, the main event was Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Miller with all the trash.
Oh, come on, man. Come on with it. Come on with it.
It was
Come
so
on with
much
it, bro.
trash talking. It was ridiculous, man. That was the one fight I was the most hyped for, like when they were
And
all
now,
coming to the ring.
believe it or not, that win that Dubois, and I want to put this on here. I didn't pick Dubois to win that fight. I thought Miller would probably stop him between 7 and 10 or something like that. I thought Miller would have stopped Dubois just because Dubois kind of showed a little yellow in his last couple fights to me. But he mentally he got it back together. He pushed himself to the limit, and he got over whatever demons was holding him back the other night because Jarrell Miller tested him. He tested him with his presence. He tested him with a poker face. He tested him with punches. And Dubois had an answer. I'm gonna tell you how, like, this is my way of being fickle. I could be going against a guy or betting against a guy in a fight, but as the fight go on and I start seeing them doing good, all of a sudden I become happy for him. I don't know what the fuck that is. Like, and the other night, even though I thought Jarrell would win, I'm like, it felt good to see Dubois actually overcome whatever demons he was dealing with and get a good victory for his career that put him back in position. He shut a lot of people up, including myself. And it just felt, I love this shit. I
Mm.
love this shit, huh? I love this shit.
When you
You
look
gotta
at
commend this game.
For sure, like when you look at a guy like Dubois, I mean, like you said, it was kind of hard to pick him only from the standpoint of like how he lost, and then the
Yeah.
fact that Jarrell weighed 100 pounds more than him. And I know a lot of people said that might have been too much weight, but I've always seen Jarrell be able to carry that weight easily. Like I've seen him
But
work.
now, bro, it seemed like now Jarrell output is not the same. I
Yeah,
watch him get close to Dubois. At one time, do you know Jarrell Miller was considered one of the most active heavyweights as far as punch output? It
yeah.
seemed like now when he get close, it's two or three punches, then it's a stop. It's a punch here, then it's a stop. And that may be because the things that he was taking at one time, as far as the supplements or whatever it is he was taking, that stuff is not in his system no more. So his output just ain't the same. His punch intake is just not the same because, yeah, Dubois is a big puncher, but I watched Jarrell Miller get hit with big shots by big guys and take them and keep coming back and all that. But that's just not there no more. It's not there no more. But I'm happy that he's back active. I'm happy that he got a second chance. Congratulate him on taking his shahada for the religion of Islam. And like, it was all a good thing. And after the fight, you could tell he was in a great space. He was happy to be back active. He gave Daniel his props. And life go on, man. I'm sure he had a good holiday with him and his family and got a good paycheck. And yeah, man. It just is what it is.
Is he a guy that I know you again, I know you want to talk to D and whatever, but just from he's American, he's a really big guy, and he's gonna talk a lot of shit. Is,
Absolutely. And guess what? I fucking love it.
is
And
he a
I
guy,
love it.
is he somebody that's maybe even more attractive than a Ruiz just because of all of the shit talk? And then he might even try to push Deontay at some point, and it's just like, oh, he's
Yeah.
the type of
That
guy that's gonna make Deontay, you know?
Oh, I get what you're saying. That would actually, like, you could say, light that fire that, so to speak, that made people maybe thinking Deontay don't have anymore or anything like that. I believe Jarrell. It's just no telling, man. He could be a possible opponent, maybe, maybe not. It's really no telling, bro. These guys got different managers, different promoters, um, and things just end up how they end up. Like, like I said, I hate to do this, these type of answers to you, Hans. But I'm so more focused on Deontay getting right, and whatever it takes for him to get right, I'm all behind that. And Hans, you got to keep in mind, man. I love Deontay so much, and I believe in him so much that, bro, if I'm the problem, I have no problem going to Deontay and say, "Yo, bro, let me know what we got to do. Like, do you feel as though I'm not giving you everything that you feel as though I should? What is it? Like, you know what I mean? If we got to go, whatever it is we have to do, we got to bring somebody in. Do you feel as though I've shown you as much, whatever it is for the right of him? I'm all for it. Like, you know what I mean? People got this thing, goddamn, well, Malik Scott is fired. Bro, Deontay is my brother for life.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, say if the thing don't work out with me and him as a trainer and fighter, I still want the best for him. Like
Yeah.
the other night, we just had an all fucking night, and I'm sorry that fans and casuals just can't accept that. I'm sorry that like casual and fans, and even some boxing people, they rather look for the blame and they just don't want to say, no, fuck that. Joseph Parker and Andy Lee for a good methodical fight and treated the situation accordingly, especially for a fighter that has been inactive for the last 2 years. Like, that's just what it is. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't really into making excuses or pointing the finger. I'm into fixing the problem. And whatever the problem is, that's what I'm focusing on fixing when it comes to Deontay Wilder's career, because I believe in him so much, man. If you guys seen some of the things he showed me in the gym, some of the things he showed me when he's sparring guys, some of the things, you too will be loaded with confidence when it comes to him, just like I am. But the other night we had a horrible night, and it just didn't work out in our favor. And congratulations to Andy Lee and Joseph Parker, man. No excuses from my side.
Gotcha. And just very last point.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about like activity.
yeah.
Not even just ideally, but realistically, how many fights do you think you can get Deontay through 2024? Because Joshua, who's probably the most popular heavyweight, he just had 3 fights in 2023. Um,
Mhm.
um, Joseph Parker just had 4. So, like
Yeah,
how many realistic fights do you think? And those guys were sharp because of those fights. So
absolutely.
how
No,
many?
no, no. Say no, 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 no. I say that again. Those
Oh,
guys
they
were
were.
sharp
Yeah.
because of those fights, bro. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah,
The
100%.
activity, they were sharp because of those fights. Like when Joseph Parker got the call, he just got out of a fight.
And
I ain't
if
saying go ahead.
I just wanted to ask real quick, also from a standpoint of like in Joseph Parker's situation, he kind of not even kind of he fought like journeyman guys and whatever, and then raised it up a little bit. Deontay, not Deontay, Anthony Joshua, he fought Franklin, who was coming off for loss, who wasn't like a really big name, and then went on to Robert Lanius, and then finally Otto Wilder. So are you guys kind of willing to go that route where it's just like, all right, we would let's just say you guys want Andy Ruiz, can't get him. All right, let's get like the number 40 guy, or let's get like Franklin. And then after that, let's get somebody who's like in the top 20. And then after that, let's
Yeah.
get somebody who's in the top 10. Do you guys want to do that just to get that activity and keep them going?
That wouldn't be a bad idea, but obviously, we got to see what options that's really on the table for us right now, because whatever options that's on the table for Deontay is high reward, but they also may be high risk. And myself, you fans, we all could say he shouldn't fight this guy because he's getting paid, 100 million or 70 million. He should fight this guy because it's better for him, but he's only getting 2 million. Father Time is undefeated. This is a man that has a big umbrella. He has a lot of land, and I mean that literally. Deontay Wilder has a lot of real estate. He has a lot of things and a lot of family and a lot of people depending on him. So a lot of times decisions have to be made from a financial standpoint that may not be the best physically for his career concerning opponent choice. But bro, we all out here making the best decisions, especially Deontay, that we feel as though it's not just the best for us, but it's best for his family, best for his kids' future, best for everything that he's building for his future. So when he's gone, his kids can continue to eat.
Yeah.
So like, it's tough, man. But I know like sometimes what would be the best thing for somebody, but sometimes what would be the best thing for a fighter, probably financially, it ain't always the right thing because these guys is offering buku money, and you know, bro, we ain't on this earth too much longer, and you gotta get what you gotta get, and you have to take care of the ones that's gonna be here with your last name when you're long and gone. And that's something that Deontay is very, very big on, generational wealth. So it's generational wealth, or you'll be fighting guys that literally is not a threat to you. They dare to get you back just to keep sharp in motion, but you only getting $1 million a fight. You only getting whatever the number may be. You're not getting the high risk, high reward fight. So, the real thing is to get back in camp, get back into another fight, whatever fight that may be, and move forward from there.
Gotcha. Look, like I said, man, I
Mm.
appreciate you jumping on, answering all the questions, man. You're awesome. You're great. Really appreciate
That's
you.
right there.
We're gonna talk again soon.
Anytime.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year's, Merry Christmas, my brother. Thank you, man.
God bless you guys. Peace, bro.
You too, brother.